The Federal Women's Program Committee of the Farm Credit Administration is happy to celebrate Women's History Month. The mission of the committee is to advise the EEO Director of matters affecting the employment and advancement of women in our agency. To help achieve this objective, the committee works to conduct projects, prepares presentations, and works cooperatively with management to enhance agency policy. More recently, the committee has worked to boost networking and mentoring within the agency by sponsoring a semi-annual networking and mentoring series featuring female leaders in our agency. Thanks in a large part to the success of this program, the committee has decided to expand the project to celebrate Women's History Month. The theme of this year's Women's History Month 2017 is honoring trailblazing women in labor and business. We thought who better to speak on their experiences than the women who serve our country and represent their constituents in Congress. To gain insight from these women, I came to our nation's capital to ask them some questions about how they've trailblazed through their careers and their thoughts of the future on women in agriculture. On behalf of the committee, I'd like to thank these women for their dedication to our country and taking out time to speak with us. We hope that you find their insights compelling and invaluable. Enjoy.
Now that I'm here in Washington and serve on the Agriculture Committee, I think it is vital that we educate the rest of the country who doesn't understand agriculture or have that connection on what we really do and the importance of food and fiber and how we care about our land and the environment. We care about our animals and their welfare, and we provide a very abundant, reliable, safe product.
And women have long played a critical role, as we know, in American agriculture, both on and off the farm. There are real leadership opportunities in agriculture for women as well as men, as farm owners and operators, also as lenders and veterinarians and scientists and government officials, and as lawmakers too. So it's important that we, women in agriculture, lift each other up and support one another in our careers.
I think it's just a matter of recognizing and rewarding what women have done in the field of agriculture, period. And in particular in farm credit. I think it's something that is evolving, and more women are in positions of authority. More and more women are showing that they've been farmers for a long time. More and more women are showing that we're smart enough we can add and subtract. More and more women are showing that we can really run this thing. So I think that it's just a matter of the recognition and the acceptance. We're already there.
"100 years ago, the people of Montana elected Jeanette Rankin, the first woman elected to Congress, to the House of Representatives on November 7, 1916. I may be the first woman member of Congress, but I won't be the last," Rankin said after her victory. Rankin's election to the House was especially historic, coming 4 years before the passage of the 19th Amendment, giving women the right to vote, which was ratified on August 18, 1920. Susan B. Anthony dedicated her life to women's suffrage. She was an abolitionist, educational reformer, labor activist, temperance worker, and a women's rights campaigner who helped pave the way for so many women after her. 16 years after Rankin was elected, and 12 years after women obtained the right to vote, Haiti Wyatt Caraway won her campaign to become the first elected female senator. In 1981, Sandra Day O'Connor became the first woman to serve as a Supreme Court Justice. And in 1993, Janet Reno was appointed as the first female Attorney General. Currently, there are 104 women in Congress, 21 in Senate, and 83 in the House of Representatives, making up 19% of the congressional body. Women's role in agriculture continues to grow and become more prevalent in today's farming operations.
Well, women's involvement in agriculture is very important. I grew up on a farm, and my husband and I farm today. And certainly I grew up with my mom right there helping my dad, and my sister and I on the farm. She drove the grain truck to town. My sister and I tagged along, and she drove the tractor, and we would do it too. So, I mean, farming is a family thing, and that's one of the the neat things about what we get to do feeding the world is we get to do it together as a family.
The USDA reports that U.S. farms owned and operated by women have nearly tripled in number since 1978, from 5% to 14% in 2007, accounting for 62.7 million acres of farmland. The 2012 Ag Census shows that 14% of the nation's 2.1 million principal operators were women, and there are nearly 1 million women involved in the farming industry in the U.S., accounting for 30% of U.S. farmers. Female farmers are the fastest growing demographic in small-scale and organic operations. In 2001, Ann Veneman became the first and only female United States Secretary of Agriculture. Currently, there are 5 female members of the Senate Committee on Agriculture.
I would just say to young women who are trying to come up in, whether it be farm credit, whether it be in agriculture, whether it be in law or any other field, just keep going. Nobody promised us that it would be easy. I don't know that I would have done anything differently. I think that we learn and we grow from every experience, no matter what it is. You have your successes, you have your setbacks. And I think it makes us who we are. If you really want something, you work at it. And I mean work. Because if you give the best that you have, that's all you can do. And just give your best every day. That's my philosophy.
The other thing that I've learned in my life is that it's important to trust my own instincts, to have confidence in myself. Those times when I've decided to defer to someone else's judgment when I wasn't quite sure it was right, usually ended up a time when I really regretted it. So, believe in yourself. You have talent, intuition, knowledge. Trust that, and you'll go far.
Well, it's not easy to balance a work-life career, but you have to get your priorities right and remember what those things are. And for me, it's God, family, and others. And so I was a state representative for 6 years and then was blessed to become a mom. So I made the decision to not run for re-election and to go home and to be a full-time mom. And that's what I did for 9 years, and then was asked to run for Congress. It was a difficult decision, but we made it together as a family. I thought of a quote from the first Barbara Bush, and when she spoke to a women's college, and it's always stuck in my head, but she said to these young graduates getting ready to go out in the workplace, she said, when you are a senior citizen looking back on your life, you're not going to wish you'd spent more time on the job or that you'd had a better career or made more money. You're going to wish that you spend more time with your family.
One of the things I have learned over my lifetime is that it is so important to reach out and help create opportunities for other women. When I was first getting involved, there were so many times where there was only one woman on a committee, one woman involved in something, and there was special attention because you were the one and only. And I learned very quickly that one and only meant token, and that the real strength, the real opportunity, the real clout comes from reaching out and bringing other women into the room, so that it's very common to have women's voices and judgments and experiences. And that really is the goal today. We are stronger when there are more of us involved in whatever it is that we are doing.
I think it's just real important to be prepared and ready when those opportunities come, and so to pursue your passions and gain the knowledge in the area that you feel passionate about, and then when there's an opportunity for advancement, you'll be ready.
I've always had mentors, many of them. I've always had role models. And so as a result, I try to be a mentor and a role model today, because I think that those are the things that encourage you to go further.